Welcome back, Nerdiverse, to the Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast, where we have such sights to show you. This high luxury vehicle of a podcast is currently live on YouTube. We are live on Twitch and anywhere a podcast can be found. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is the Jedi Counselor himself, Master of the Nerdiverse, all time supreme, the man we simply call Wash. What's going on, sir?
What up? Happy Friday. Glad to be here, man. We made it. It's another Friday night. And we are here in the Nerdiverse talking some of my favorite stuff.
Just a few of my favorite things when a bass stings. What's going on, everybody? We got a chat right off the bat. Bradley, what's going on, sir? What up, fam? Let's show him in the chat.
What
As
up?
just a reminder, this is a live show. So if you want to jump by 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, say hi, boo us from a distance. We take it all, except for derogatory words, which we will then strike you down with such fury and anger, like Samuel Jackson in Pulp Fiction, bro. But depends. If it's funny, anything's good if it's funny, right?
Depends
It
on
gets
what's
it gets
said. You know what I mean?
it gets a pass. It gets a pass, bro. That's crazy. How you feeling about tonight? How are you doing this Friday evening, man?
I
You
feel
chilling?
good, man, and I had to laugh at your title, as you know. I see these things on first roll, and yes, we are the Rolls-Royce of podcasts.
I
Maybe the
didn't make
one you
this
get,
up.
maybe the one you get down the street. Maybe not at the dealership, but we're right up there.
Yeah, we're the one that the homie cousin had. You know
I
what I'm
got to
saying?
tell you, it's a hell of a statement to come out and say, I'm the Rolls Royce of something, but someone said it. And so it makes you go, well, are you?
Are
Can you?
you? Can you be?
Really?
We're gonna talk about it, man. This is a wacky week, man. It's like the foot goes down through the throat, you know what I mean, and back out
Every
the other way. You know what I'm
week.
saying? I don't want to be that guy. And there's more to talk about, bro. It's not even on the docket. It's like I haven't seen a crash out like that, like this, in a very long time. But we're gonna get
Dude,
into it, man.
yeah, yeah.
You know,
So, feeling good, man. How you feeling?
I'm good, man. This was a very treacherous week, man. Ups and downs, as the dude would say, strikes and gutters, but I'm here, man. The mic abides. The mic
The mic
abides, bro.
abides. The mic
You know what I'm
abides. I
saying?
like it.
Speaking of which, let's talk about some podcast things. Tonight is glorious episode 140. And as Wash alluded to, we are indeed the Rolls Royce of podcasts. It's self-titled, but this is where we are.
The self-proclaimed.
Self-proclaimed from the damn top rope, bro. People don't understand where we're coming from. What are we talking about tonight, man? We're talking about that crazy Projectile trailer. I saw that. I was like, man, we got to talk about that. A rumored the Phantom TV series from Netflix. Don't spoil me with a good time. Dark Side being ruled out of the DCU. Say it ain't so. I think it's BS, but we'll talk about it. And last but not least, I know you've been hearing stuff about this, man. The hunt for Ben Solo.
Nah, I didn't hear anything
You didn't hear
about
nothing
any.
about
I
this?
didn't hear. I hear nothing about nothing. Nothing about nothing.
Bruh, that's what the channel's for, man. We're here to educate as well as stimulate, bro. We're here to educate as well as stimulate, baby. Now, before we get started with anything, I always ask this question of Wash. Out of these four topics, which one is the one that you're kind of most interested in?
I have to be honest. I had not seen it in my reviews of the week leading up, so I'm gonna go the Phantom TV
Ooh.
series. I was a tad bit. This kind of came out of left field for me and brought up. I think we talked about it 2 or 3 weeks ago. How just something can unlock the part of the brain that you haven't thought about in just you know decades, and I was like. Oh yeah, I forgot.
That exists.
Yeah,
You know?
so after I read that and did my homework, I went back and I was doing some digging, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember what's happening here. So yeah, it's a,
That's interesting. I could have sworn you would have been all up the, all on the Ben Solo train. You know what I'm saying? But that he is a man we simply call Wash. You're
I'm a
unobtainable.
complicated individual. You know what I mean?
He's a riddle trapped in a vest. Like Nelson Muntz. Doug.
Or I'm just a piece of a Rolls Royce that's very
He's
complex to get and find and put on my $500,000 vehicle. You know what I mean?
Yes, he is the upholstery of a Rolls-Royce. You heard it here
Yes.
first, ladies and gentlemen. Easy, hardly sought after. Of course, mine's is the Phantom. I'm a big Phantom nerd. I like all that pulpy, the Phantom, uh, Rocketeer, the Shadow, Defenders of the Earth. Don't what I'm saying, don't bother me with this, man. I'm not going to freak out like I did about the Ronin Warriors, so you guys don't have to worry about that. Freakouts like that are very rare for Mike G, and I already apologize for past the mic, but yeah, I'm very excited about the Phantom. Excited to talk some DCU, and one thing I'm very excited about is to talk about our weeks, man. So this part of the show where we just talk about what we've been up to in the Nerdiverse. So Wash, I must ask you, how was your week?
Good week, man. There's been a couple of things going on. I do want to say that there was a video game fest recently, the Horror Fest, I think. I am really kind of surprised with the lack of Hellraiser or anything, and I am a tad bit worried because when we first got that trailer, I went found the article and they said a December 31st release date, and I've heard nil, seen nothing, and now we just had a horror game festival and not hide nor hair was mentioned of it. So I just want to lead off by saying, yeah.
Yeah. Shout outs. Mike Prime is in the building. He's over here floating around in the rafters like the Phantom of the Opera. What's going on, sir? Yeah, I'm the first one to say, just let it cook. You know what I'm saying? If it's not ready, it's not ready. Don't, Elder Scrolls 6 us. You know what I'm saying? That's all I ask. You know, show it when it's ready, but putting out that carrot and then at the absolute best place where you can show it, you're not there, it bothers you. It's kind of like waiting for all those Half-Life 3 people who go to every E3 like, this is the year, this
This
is the
is the
year,
year. Yeah.
this is the year, and
Back
it's
is
like
not back.
disappointment after disappointment after disappointment. So hey, what are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
So I just thought it was interesting because that trailer looked great. I'm really excited for that game as we're closing in on the end of the year, and there's not too many more releases of things coming out, big giant releases. We still got a couple, but that's one of mine that is on the list. But moving on to something that I've been doing this week, which we'll briefly touch upon. Uh, oh, you
Oh
see this?
no.
It's
This
a
guy is doing his homework. That's what I love to see.
Alan
Oh,
Moore Saga of the Swamp Thing, Book One.
so
So,
real, Doug.
and we're not going to get into all of this right now, but Mike and I are in the lab. We're working on things for you. We're putting things together, getting our ideas out there. Before, and I the other thing, we'll get to the other thing that has slowed down progress on this week, but um, a couple little background for Brian because what I'm reading I didn't quite expect. It's a collection of graphic novels. It's a
Yeah.
collection of comic book stories. I'm not sure what the time frames are that they're ranging quite yet. Like I don't know if the runs are in sequential order, and this is one of my questions
Mm,
for you that I'm going like to help me digest it better.
yeah.
Um, um, that's one. Is each book the ending beginning kind of how the run went in that area. Second thing, Alan Moore. I'm
Yes.
familiar with the name, but not necessarily the background. So I was hoping maybe you could kick me in a little bit about
Yeah.
Alan Moore and some of what he's done and some of the work I may know. But otherwise, thus far, learning a lot about a character I know nothing about. And it's freaking awesome. It's
Swamp Thing
freaking
fucking
awesome,
rules.
people.
Swamp
It's
Thing is the
freaking
realest,
awesome,
dog.
man. It's
Yeah.
freaking awesome. So,
He's
um, super, super excited. And yeah, that has been a thing on the radar this week.
Let me give you just a second. I'm not going to go into it because this is content for a future date. So I'm not going to do too deep of a deep dive about the awesomeness of Alan Moore or the intricacies of Swamp Thing. There's a reason why in Injustice 2, when he was listed as a playable character, I kind of lost my mind because I absolutely love everything about Swamp Thing, his origins, how he came about. And to answer your question, yes, this is the Alan Moore run. So these books should be in sequential order in regards to storyline, but Alan Moore is weird, so it may not feel that way. You
But
know what I'm
hold
saying?
on a second. When you say the Alan Moore run, and this is kind of to help my process, like, cause this is 19, I don't know,
Like
1970s, give or
70,
take.
80, something like
Is
that.
that the
Yeah.
Alan Moore we're talking about?
Yes.
1970s Alan Moore? Damn,
Hmm.
that dude's writing that long like that. Damn. All
Alan
right,
Moore
rolling
is,
like that.
yeah, and that just tells you what we're dealing with here. So Alan Moore, man, he is one of the most interesting people I've ever heard of. He's kind of like he's like the comic book version of Christopher Lee. You know what I'm saying? Like the more you learn about the guy, you know, you're like, oh, you're just not a normal human. Okay, sounds good. So, things you may know from Alan Moore. Alan Moore wrote The Watchmen. He wrote The Watchmen. That's him. Alan Moore, yo, two shots, what's going on? Yo, unknown, what's going on? Squadron, what's going on, fam? How y'all doing? Alan Moore wrote V for Vendetta. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
Alan
Okay.
Moore, Alan Moore wrote The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? With Alan Quartermain and Dr. Hyde and all that crazy stuff. Alan Moore is up there with like the pantheon of excellent um comic book writers of all time. You know what I mean? So when he does something like as commercial as Swamp Thing, you pause. He's up there with like Frank Miller and Jeff Johns and like the gods, you know what I mean? So this run of Swamp Thing is one of his most quintessential works that you're diving into right now.
And that is not the homework I did. I didn't do any homework. I just started reading, but I knew
That's
the name.
yeah.
And now, when you mention those properties, and this is the reason I asked, is that I kind of get it now, like the coalescence of the storytelling that is happening and the vibe that's going on. It's not what I was expecting by any means of the word. It's way more dramatic than that. But
Yeah, it doesn't read
yeah,
like a comic book, bro.
yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
It,
so oh,
Alan Morris inspired people like Guillermo del Toro. If you want, like, just to kind of get the where the brain following is, Grant Morrison, heavily inspired by Alan Moore. You know what I mean? So yeah, he's definitely one of those where the more you read it, the more you kind of understand the man and how insane he is, and like he hates everything. He's just one of those cantankerous geniuses that we abide because he's the goat. You know what I mean? So
eh, you're
reading
good
this,
at what
I'm
you
so
do.
happy you're learning to appreciate Swamp Thing because he's one of my quietly favorite things that no I never get to talk about.
I'm gonna just put it up there for a quick second, folks. Go pick it up, read it, get it at the library, download it, because we will be talking about it in the near
Very soon.
in the future.
In the
I don't know,
future,
in the future,
we're
not
working
long
on it.
future, but future. It's in the
We're
works. So
working on it.
if it's something
Yeah.
a discussion you'd like to have with us, go ahead. Swamp Thing Book One, which leads me to the second thing I've been doing. So my
Mhm.
nerding has got a tad bit cut out because sports and NBA season
Football.
started.
Yeah.
And NBA season for me,
Basketball. Give me the ball because I have to go dunk it. Yeah, got you. Gotcha.
uh, I don't want to call it betting season, folks. Like, I'm not a big bet or anything, but I do enjoy myself a little fan duel, and basketball makes it a more enjoyable day if you go get your lucky lottery ticket every day, if you're one of those folks. And I want to say that some news broke this week about gambling and sports and
A,
things in
a little
general,
bit,
a
a
little
little,
bit.
a little bit
And
of news.
so, as I was putting in my bets, I got back to thinking about one of our conversations from earlier this year when we talked about
Sports,
sports.
sport.
Can sports be trusted? I don't know.
No, you already know where I'm coming from on this. No,
No,
you know what I'm saying? No, just
no.
you know what? You know how. And here's the thing: my entire
There you go,
bloodline.
Bradley.
Yeah, Bradley's already in effect. I can't even. I'm surprised he's here. So I think he gets there. My man loves him some sports, and I thank God he is granted us with his. He's here with us, but you know how I feel about it. Like, and the thing is, my entire bloodline is horribly bad at gambling. We just don't gamble well. Not like
Ah,
it's an addiction or nothing. We just don't have the luck for it.
yeah,
So I've
I
begun
understand.
betting based on theme and storyline, and not even skill or merit, and I win. It's weird, right? Like I won the last Super Bowl one because I was like, what thematically makes more sense? And you know what? Sports. So don't ask
Man,
me. Don't ask
behind
me,
the
man.
curtain, ladies and gentlemen, the
Yeah,
mind
yeah.
of Mike G is the executives playing it all out. Like like that old NBA commercial from like 2 years ago at the start of the season. How does the season play out? Like, oh, we already wrote it.
Bro.
Tune
Hey,
in.
I won a fantasy league because I literally pitted the mascots against each other, and that's who I decided won the game. So if the Bears played the Broncos, I would say, "Hey, would a bear beat a horse in a fight?" I think it would. So let's go with the Bears. Guess who won that game? The damn Chicago Bears. So don't ask me, man. I'll steer you wrong or steer you right. You know what I'm saying?
I, you took one of my favorite AI pastimes, which is just pitting random things against each other in
Spider
AI.
Watch.
Like would a bear beat a horse, but it's a tar battlefield and there are mountainous boulders dropping. And AI gives you a great story. You know what I mean? So
It paints a
uh,
picture, bro.
it paints a picture. It's something that I'm not going to get from Warner Brothers, which was on the lineup but disappeared smartly because I was going to lose my mind. The other
Yeah.
thing I was going to discuss this week, and it's very short. I got to tap out.
Of what?
I'm tapping.
Say it ain't so.
I'm
Oh
tapping.
no, he's tapped out.
Peacemaker's over, man. I don't care. Like I can't. I can't. I can't, man.
I'm sorry, bro.
I got like 5, 6 minutes into episode 6, and
I'm
I
sorry.
I was literally like upset with
Done.
myself. Like I'm not enjoying myself. I hate everything that's happening right now on screen. And so I'm gonna have to pack this one away as I'm putting together my end of year list. There are a couple of incompletes that are on the year thus far.
Incomplete, bro.
Incomplete. And
Holy
this is
shit.
gonna be one of those that is gonna be rolled up, incomplete. And
Oh,
next September it may fall out of the closet and I'm like, oh well, what's this? And maybe I'll have some better feelings, but it's over, man. I can't
bro.
with it.
You know what's funny? We have new our long form content for next week was almost an incomplete for me because I couldn't get through one of them, Doug. I couldn't do it. I'm not gonna say which one. You gotta listen. You gotta listen. But one of those, bro, was almost you know what I'm saying? Incomplete. Check your work.
I can't
I,
wait.
I kind of mentally checked out, bro.
I can't
But
wait.
to talk about Peacemaker, where did you stop? What was the breaking point? I'm just
The
curious. What was the
breaking
breaking
point
point?
was they went back to the crew went to the world, and the Peacemaker was having breakfast in the diner with
Yeah.
the family in his costume and the girl. And I watched about, I don't know, like 3 minutes of it, and I was like, dude, I
You're just
can't.
like no
I
mas,
can't.
Doug. You had
Dude,
no
nope.
mas.
Nope. There was so it's the storytelling is just so freaking incoherent and unnecessary. Why his father's back after all that drama we went through, number one, season one, the emotional pull. He's a bad dude. He's not a good character. And the fact that they're like redeeming him in any way just
It's
craps
weak.
on season one, bro, for me. And here's what I've been saying all week. I've been looking at things going, yeah, I'm looking at you side eye. And so, as you said about Peacemaker, you started looking at it side eye. I looked at it side eye. But yeah,
Mhm.
I've never been able to turn back towards it.
Yeah,
Towards it.
it's it's the fundamental problem with multiverse storytelling is that there are no stakes, right? There's no consequence. There's no stake. There's no consequence. That is the fundamental issue with just multiverse storytelling. Um, and the problem is that yes, in the Earth Prime or whatever, Peacemaker's dad was a racist, neo-Nazi piece of garbage, right? But in this world, he's actually a decent guy because it's a different universe and everything is flipped. So it's like, why is this guy back? Because we want him to be. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like we're going into, the search for Ben Solo. Kind of a very similar situation. Why do we want the guy
Ooh.
back? Because we want him to be.
Ooh.
So
Ooh.
I'm kind of taking shots, but I understand your frustration because it takes away the consequence of that season. It takes away the urgency of that season, and I understand. I truly do.
Hardcore literally turns him in. They go through all that drama on the park bench, gets his feelings hurt, beats the crap out of him, turns him in. 2 shots later, we're going to save Peacemaker. Like it's our blanking. Like
It's
me as the
because
viewer, I'm like,
I'm starting to get Hideo Kojima vibes from James Gunn. Does that
ooh.
make sense?
I mean, if
Where
he has a point,
he
you tell
needs
me.
someone.
Did Peacemaker end up? Were you satisfied?
You just
Because
want
you never
you just want
said.
you want spoilers,
Yeah.
or do you want me
Yeah,
to just
yeah,
tell
go
you?
ahead, man. I don't care. It's fine. I
Yeah,
told you.
I was absolutely not satisfied with the ending of that series. Only because you have to set your expectation. I'm not expecting Batman to show up and just make the whole thing tight, right? They ended it. The ending served another master than its own. It was there to
Mm.
build up Man of Tomorrow, which is the next James Gunn vehicle. I'm starting to get cynical about this. Oh, I hate it. I'm feeling it set in, Doug. I'm feeling the cynicism set in. I was so bright and happy about Superman, and now I'm just growing cynical. It serves a different master, and if they just would have stayed the course and told the story they wanted to tell, I think it would have had a more succinct ending. And from my understanding, this is like the last Peacemaker thing we're getting. They're not getting season 3, from my understanding. So this is it. So it's like this is how you close out this character's solo arc. It's like, you know, lifting up another thing. That's whack to me. That's kind of poo
Uh,
puttish,
so
man. I'm
that's
not a fan of that.
it's a
You
lot of
know,
writing. It's a lot
it's
of writing for
a
for
lot of
for just
it's very Brian Michael Bendis kind of where it's like here you have like it's one panel, but it has 17 thought balloons, and he won't shut up.
yes,
It's like
yes,
stop
dude.
talking, stop talking,
Yeah,
Brian Michael Bendis, shut up.
that's funny.
We get it. It's whack, Doug. But yeah, I feel
All
you.
right.
I feel your pain.
How was your week, Mike?
Yes, keep it short and sweet. My week was all right, man. I want to talk about a game that I've been playing. This is the biggest nerd thing I've been playing. Is Ghost of Yote. I've been playing a lot of Ghost of Yote, which is the sequel to Ghost of Tsushima. Honestly, one of my favorite PS5 games of all time because there's only 3 of them. So it's like number 1 of 3. Um, and Ghost of Yote is very strange in its approach. Very different, kind of different from Ghost of Tsushima, where
How so?
uh, these games aren't necessarily overly gory. We just reviewed Day of the Dead and Dawn of the Dead. Go watch our episode on that. Real quick plug. Um, and those movies are overly gory. Choke on them, you're getting ripped apart and brains exploding and stuff. It's not gory, but it's very graphic. You know what I'm saying? It's very graphic, bro. Like It's
I'm just
trippy.
thinking about you tapping out on one of our long for for next week as you're talking about
Yeah,
this.
no,
So
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to drop that truth bomb, but you'll see. You'll
all
understand
right,
what I'm
yeah,
talking about. But
go
yeah,
on.
Ghost of Tsushima's weird. So it's
Yeah.
like you can set up camps at places and you can eat and pet your horse or whatever. And
Hmm.
it's kind of like um it's kind of tone deaf in a weird ways where it's like I'm setting up a camp, but I happen to set up a camp right next to where charred human remains are hung up, crucified on giant pikes. And it's like, yeah, I get to play my little guitar and play my cute little, soft Japanese song. And these guys are literally cooking next to me. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, I don't need that. It's like I guess I'm getting older, man. It's very disturbing. Like there's one, no spoilers. It's just like a one weird side mission where you go and you have to find this woman's son. I can't find my son. Whoop de whoop. We find out we find out the bad guys have trapped her son in a burning building and killed him. So the mom runs in there looking for her kid. She finds him. She's crying. And I'm in there like, hey, we gotta go, man. The place is on fire. We gotta roll out. No, I'm just gonna stay with my son. This is where I need to be. No, this place is about to burn. No, this decision I've made. I'm just gonna stay here with my son, and we're gonna cook together. And the pro tag is like, okay, she just bails out, dog. And so it ends with you doing a cool sword move and the building collapsing from the fire within it. And I'm just like, that is kind of heavy, bro. Like, I don't know if I wanted that in my Japanese katana sword adventure, dog. Like the whole series, it's like it wants to explain the horrors of war, but it's almost doing it to like circus music in a weird way,
Mm,
where the our main character, Atsu, is so kind of like um emotionally distant that she doesn't really connect to anything in the world the way that um, Jin Hakai did in Tsushima. To answer your question, Two Shot, if you like the combat of Ghost of Tsushima, you'll like the combat in Ghost of Yote. There's only a couple of big tweaks. I would say the difficulty is a little bit harder in this game, which I like. I don't want it to be too cranked up. I'm not playing Dark Souls, but it's a bit of a challenge there. You get some cool dog assists and stuff like that. Um, Gorgeous game, but it's just the kind of tone deaf storyline. It's not doing it for me. Where in Ghost of Tsushima, the main story plot was the samurai are antiquated against this threat, which is the Mongolians, and the Mongolians will do pretty much anything to win. And like, you must fight with honor. In the first scene, a Japanese samurai pulls out his sword and gets into a stance. The
yeah,
Mongolian
great.
just throws this oil on him and just puts him on fire.
Yeah.
This is what I think about you and your honor. So the Ghost of Tsushima had to shift the ways of battle to combat this new thing that was just going to wipe them out. And people saw him as a heretic. They saw him as unhonorable. So there was a really interesting conflict of honor versus survival, and it's a very interesting story. Whereas so far in Ghost of Yotai, it's like, my name is Amigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. That's the storyline. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, it's just revenge. You can't get more simple than revenge, and maybe the complexities build up as the storyline goes, but nah, she's just ripping and tearing. She's damn doom. She's Doom Guy pretty much. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? All I need is like heavy metal and Mick Gordon in the background. Let's put on some Serpentera. You
As
know what
the
I'm saying?
building falls, she's like, yes.
Yeah, drinks the red blood. Start playing Slayer and shit. Yeah, that game is out of control, man. But I'm having a ton of fun with it. Other than that, in regards to the Nerdiverse, I have been doing some Swamp Thing reading myself through Comixology, but I'm doing the New 52 run right now,
Okay.
talking about the Red and because I'm already really familiar with the Alan Moore run. So I was like, let me just start backwards. And I'm going to read the New 52 run, which is really, 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 really good. Swamp Thing, but it can't defeat Swamp Thing. Other than that, TV wise, Mike Prime
How
got it
long
in my
has it been since you went back to a comic, Mike?
ooh years,
I I mean, I haven't heard
years.
you mention a comic, picking up a
It's
comic
hard
to
to
read
find
since
since
in a minute.
shoot.
I want to
It's
say
been a
New
minute.
52. How long ago was New
It's
52?
actually the last comic book I sat down and read. I'm trying to think of the trade paperback. I want to say it was the Sandman, which is an
Mm.
excellent omnibus. Sandman omnibus, which is one of my favorite DC things ever. I sat down and read that again, maybe like 2 or 3 years ago, because I just wanted to do it. So going into comicsology and just reading panels, and it's really just invigorating me to want to draw comics again, which sucks because it's like I want to do comics because that's always been my passion. But I need something to write. I need words to make into characters to, and reading a comic book again um it just sparks my creativity. But yeah, that's pretty much been my week. It's been a lot of Ghostly Yotai. It's been a lot of comic book reading. Watched Reacher again from season 1 all the way to
Huh.
season 2, just to kind of reiterate that. Nothing else comes to mind other than just the stresses of life. So you know what I mean.
Well, I know that we have dairy coming up next week, so I am
Are
excited
you
for
hyped
that.
for that? You
I
hyped for
am
that?
friggin' stoked for that. And that
Okay.
Dairy
Okay.
Expedition X, I didn't really have time to get into it, but check that out, Mike. That thing is pretty cool. And I could have a whole episode about ghost shows because I just don't know. You know what I mean? They're using the tools or whatnot. But that's a really cool episode. They go to Stephen King's hometown in Bangor, Maine, and they bring the whole town in. People are telling all their ghost stories. Then they go explore with their ghost tools, and they run into some creepy stuff. So yeah, check that out, Mike. I know I texted
Absolutely,
you.
definitely. Yes, and just to Bradley, before we jump into our topics, I understand Radiant Black. I know it's good. I'm just mad because it's kind of taking from a story that I wanted to write. So I'm kind of salty. So I know Radiant Black is good. It's sick. I understand, but it's like it's stealing my idea. And it makes me mad. But yeah. Other books which are good are Pride of Baghdad, of course. Preacher. It's an excellent book by um, uh, Ennis, Gareth Ennis, I think is his name. And also, um, dang it, it's a book about Saturn, but it's not. I have to think of it again. It was one of my favorite, but I can't remember off the top of my head. That being said, with our weeks done and we're at the 30-minute mark, you ready to get into some topics, my man?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Bradley also mentions, and I just put this up on the stream real quick, Jonathan Hickman's Black Monday Murders, which is his favorite. I love a good murder mystery. You know what I'm saying? Love a good murder mystery. So we're just gonna take the chicken right out the pot, steaming hot. Adam Driver reveals Disney said no to a really cool Kylo Ren Star Wars movie. Apparently, Adam Driver and Steven Soderbergh were pitching a kind of next Star Wars. Garth Ennis, thank you so much, Bradley. So
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's called Hunt for Ben Solos was going to be the idea for this film, which takes place after um the Rise for Skywalker. But apparently, it got so far, it got like production, it got money, they were really about to just do it, and Bob Iger just looked at it and said, "No, isn't he dead?" And that was just it. Is that kind of like Hollywood story? You know what I mean? Um, Wash, do you feel that we need more Ben Solo? Do you think we need more Kylo Ren? Do you feel like we need
Look,
more of this character, even though
I
he's canonically gone?
I think that there are holes that are massive that do need to be filled, like Knights of Red.
Yeah.
They're literally named after him. We have like a shot and him fighting them, and that is all that encompasses the Knights of Ren. So if you're asking me, do we need more Ben Solo? Just for that one fact alone, I don't care if you do it in the Tails. Actually, I kind of do if you do it in the Tails, especially if it's not par. I will care because it's important. It's the Knights of Ren, like they have
Yeah.
a name. You know what I mean? So in that aspect, yes. In the aspect of this story, this movie, the banner that flying, what's old is cool again. You know what I mean? No one wanted to see Ben Solo 6 months ago. Everybody's like Ben Solo. Yeah, we don't care. Episode 9 doesn't live in our minds. We don't
Hmm.
care. So, I feel as though that all those folks have forgotten about this. As far as the movie itself goes, eh, yeah.
It's it's
Look,
hard because
look,
like
go on.
go. No, go
No,
on.
go
No,
on.
go on. No,
All right.
it's
I was just
yeah.
fine. I'm just gonna say that like we have to do something after episode 9, right? Like something has to come after episode 9. If they wanted to bring back Ben Solo and do something in that vein and go down that road, fair enough. The fact that Bob Iger and his second in command, who's now no longer second in command because Bob Iger's like, can someone please put me out of my misery and just take this blanket job from me? And Disney is like, no,
No. No. How do you say in
no.
Spanish? No.
I I think he probably said no just to get fired. You know what I mean? Just because he's like, maybe
Is he
someone
just
don't like the
mad?
fact
They
I said
they
no.
call Bob on a bad day, bro. They're just like, I don't even want to be here, man. I could be playing with my grandchildren. No, man, that's dumb. Get it out of here.
So
What?
in the vein
Yeah.
of we don't see how he can come back, fair enough. But they've brought back everyone else, so that's what I'll say. That's
Somehow Palpatine returned, right?
But that was
Somehow
actually planned. That
was
was
it?
actually planned when you look at Operation Cinder. Yes, and that's where I
Yeah.
remember when I called you like 4 years ago, or then actually like 3 years ago, when I started getting into Star Wars. I'm like, no, Episode 7 rules. Rey's awesome, man. She's the best. You don't get it. And I was trying to explain this. Yeah, so they made that kind of make sense, even though it hasn't been put to the general population.
Now, remind me because my Star Wars is not as sharp. Operation Cinder, was that mentioned ever before Episode
Battlefield.
7? Battlefield was
Not
mentioned in
Battle.
Battle.
Yeah, Battlefield 2. Battlefield 2.
Real?
What's her
I thought
face?
Operation
Yes.
Cinder was born from like only the first time I heard it was in Bad Batch, but they were talking about Operation Cinder, right?
Yes, but it
That's
happens right after. Essentially, what happens is, and spoilers, and actually, I'm not even sure it's canon. I can't speak to if it's canon. I can.
yeah.
It may be. Yes, it's canon. I'm reading after the Empire now, so it is canon. Essentially, after Empire dies in Return of the Jedi, the Empire's in flux, and this is the real short version. Empire's in flux. People everywhere. There's a general one day standing there, and all of a sudden, a droid walks up to him that looks like Palpatine and like called, and it's Palpatine's orders telling him, no, you guys need to go burn everything. And so this is where the Empire gets into their next phase, and a lot of moral decisions are made. And there's a lot of trauma about Operation Cinder and what people did during Operation Cinder, because they pretty much just went to planets and just nuked them and was like, yep, that's what the machine said to do. But there wasn't one machine. There's like 15 of these machines, and they're all emissaries, and they're giving Palpatine's orders. What's the time frame on all this? I don't know. But when Palpatine returns, somehow he's returned. Technically, it's all was planned by Palpatine to from the get-go, which makes it gnarly.
What makes it but you have to know that is the
You have to
thing, you
know
know
it.
what I mean?
And people don't know that. You have to read like 18 books to find that out and then think about it for 100 hours and actually care and then be like, yeah. And folks, I'm not judging. I don't blame you if you don't care. You shouldn't. They haven't given you a reason to.
Yeah, and it's
No.
like looking at this from the most reptile brain. Yeah, what was the coolest thing about the new trilogy? Adam Driver was pretty much carried all 3 movies, right? We can all agree on that, right? Kylo Ren was one of the most interesting villains in a very, very, very long time. So them having an idea to say, let's bring the cool guy back makes a whole lot of sense. You know what I mean? But like you said, it's been so long that it's uncomfortable on what they're going to do past episode 9. Episode 10 has to work. You know what I'm saying? The next episodic Star Wars is make or break. You can't deny that. It has to work. So I think the next movie outside of, like, let's say this Mandalorian and Grogu, the next movie kind of has to be a numbered Star Wars. No, it's been so long.
We got Rogue Starfighter coming. We
Right.
got
Jesus.
Mandalorian Grogu
They're
coming. We
fumbling the
have we
bag,
haven't even
bro. I
talked
don't
about
like
episode 10, man. Ray's
it doesn't exist.
untitled movie.
It's so
Oh,
it's
we got the very first Star Wars coming. That's set 25,000 years before with the first Jedi from the one dude. We have at least 3 movies coming before episode 10 is even in the Raptors. And fact, this was about to come before episode 10 came.
I have a real question, and this is gonna sound dumb, but it's a real question. Will America still be a country by the time episode 10 hits, bro?
I I don't know, and I don't,
I don't think so.
for
Probably not. We're gonna be the Republic of whatever.
what you said about episode 10 having to work, I don't know if I believe that as like a truth, but I do think it is up for debate, especially with it being a 10. I think Jason X had the same thing, and it's like, let's just stop at 10. You know what I mean? We got 10 in the bag. Let's just call it and walk
You
away.
know what's
But that's a lot of money, man.
It's a lot of money,
A
and
lot
I
of
know.
money.
And the last thing I'll say on this is that things like this remind me of the importance of episode one. Like, episode one has so much pressure on it. Like, episode one, the Phantom, what is that? After what, 30, 40 years? It's like this is starting to get that kind of vibe where episode 10 is getting the same pressure that episode one had. And it's like,
Very good
what do we
comparison.
do? What do we do? It has to work. And for all those episode one haters, if you were around back then, it worked. People were hype about Star Wars. It sold a lot of money. It created a brand new trilogy.
Bro,
Um,
dude,
dude,
fucking Darth Maul? Like, fuck.
Darth Maul,
Dude,
Duel of
come
the
on, man.
Fates,
Come
bro. I
on,
mean,
man.
like, Duel of the Fates, dog. So, I mean, Star Wars is in such a precarious place, and I think Disney's in such a precarious place as a corporation. They're not. I think you know what? Let's just say it. I think all corporations are freaking out about something we don't know about because they're all kind of fumbling right now. Every single major entertainment corporation is having a weird time. Only like Nintendo is like good to go, bro. Like, you know what I'm
Only
saying?
Nintendo. Bane shouting out to Bradley. Yes, Bane is the freaking man. So I agree. I'm finishing up the third book right now for like the fourth time. But Mike, again, what you're talking about is a deeper philosophical question, and a lot of it has to do with money, AI,
Mhm.
and manpower, and social media, and the response that they get for their hard ass work over 3 or 4 years, bro. It's just not worth it. And don't even get me started on maybe Netflix buying a Warner Brothers, because then what happens to Superman still lives, right? But what happens to the quality of storytelling for Superman?
I it could be a piece, and I left it off the docket
Yeah.
because I'm just tired of talking about what's going on, Seer. How you doing, sir? How you doing, sir? New name, same homie. Yeah. I just lost my train of thought. So we're just gonna move on because I was gonna say something poignant and beautiful, but my train of thought was destroyed. Adam Driver, we'll see you. We'll see you down that. We'll see you as a Force Ghost somewhere down the line,
Oh
bro.
yeah.
Um, thanks for all the love, guys, on Instagram for show, for show, for show. So the name of the episode is this article. Xbox wants to be the Rolls-Royce of consoles by the Xbox president, Sarah Bond, where it is a premium experience. And with recent price hikes, the $1,000 ROG, what kind of precedent is this setting, Wash? When you say the Rolls-Royce of anything, what is that? When you look at those words, what does that mean?
I mean, you better be able to back it up. That's what it means. No one goes to buy a broken down Rolls Royce that doesn't work when it drives out of the dealership, right? No one's looking to be like driving around in a Rolls Royce that no one's gonna see, right? No one's doing any of that. Here's what I'm going to say about this and this announcement. I put the video into AI because it was like 15 minutes long, so I just wanted the summary. And AI gave me the summary, but AI fought for it. It said, you know what, this probably isn't a bad business move with the price of pieces, equipment, this, that, and the other, just shrinking your buyer base to an exclusive few who want to own a premium console. So, to the point about the Rolls Royce, Mike, you live in Los Angeles, California. Money! How many
Money.
Rolls Royces do you see daily?
None.
Guess what, Xbox? Bad idea.
Bad idea. You okay. I collect 1/6 scale figures. Figured it out. It's coming back soon. I promise you guys it is. The 1/6 scale figure collecting world has tiers to it, just like anything else. Hot toys is kind of like anybody can get. It's still expensive, but not too crazy. In arts are more expensive because they use better materials. J&D is the Rolls Royce of 1/6 collecting because they charge you an arm and a leg. If you want to saturate, it's almost like two different mind states where this phone is an Xbox, your TV is an Xbox, everything is an Xbox, but you can't do that as well as be the Rolls Royce of anything because not everybody has a Rolls Royce. You know what I mean? Not everybody can afford a Rolls Royce. And you got to think about your gamer audience, right? Who are people who are playing video games nowadays? It's not kids, it's adults with, dispendable income, right? College dorm guys. It's older gents and ladies and everybody in betweens, like us, paying for these things. And to call yourself the Rolls Royce of gaming, what does that say? It means it's unobtainable. That means it's a higher quality product, and that means that it's gonna breed scarcity. So what do you want, Xbox? Do you want to be everywhere all at once and omnipotent in this sphere, or do you want to be hardly sought after, but you know what I'm saying, but like mysterious and premium? You can't have it both, right? Can you?
And Mike, like, this is not you and I making this up week to week. These are the people at Xbox opening their mouths every
And
week.
saying
And it's like,
stuff.
why do you keep saying things that make me not that happy with you? And look, uh, can you be Honda and a Rolls Royce at the same time?
Same
No, I
time.
don't. I don't think you can, Mike. And
I'm
I
just
also there's still some problems they have to work out. Will the game function as it's supposed to function? I don't think Xbox has anything to do about if the makers of Ninja Gaiden 4, uh, tech, tech,
yeah,
tech, if their game
Tecmo.
works Tecmo, if their game works perfectly when it comes out in the system, so then what? Do I get my money back, Xbox?
No, you get what you're
Well then,
given, bro.
no, man. No, Xbox and the console thing, like we're 2026 is going to have to be a year for consoles. I don't know. Rockstar is going to save the entire industry. Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to drop. Everybody's going to put on their rose colored glasses and be driving around Miami like, yeah, life is gravy. And, you know, they're going to hope for the best. That's it.
You're
That's
gonna.
the only solution.
I am afraid for the gaming industry, and it's not on the docket, but it's also a Xbox L. Halo Combat Evolved is coming out on the PS5.
Yep.
The Xbox game, what was once their bread and butter, their flagship title is coming out on the competition, right? And that tells me everything I need to know about where they are as a business.
It tells me
You
I
can't even
don't expect any ex Halo exclusive games coming out anytime
ever
soon. That's for
again.
certain.
I think the console wars have been won, and that's a problem. There needs to be competition. I love what DC's doing right now because it's giving Marvel competition. It's giving them pause. There needs to be growth by competition. Iron sharpens iron, right? And if you just let PlayStation just show ass and just do whatever they want because there's no true competition in the field, then we're going to get worse content across the board because PlayStation's not going to have a reason to work as hard to put out decent
They
content.
already
They
don't.
already
Look at
don't.
what hasn't come out. Like nothing's out.
It's
Like
crazy. And I understand
no.
that there's this future gaming utopia where you can just turn on your TV with one controller and play these things differently, like subscription services. Maybe that's the future that we're all pointing toward, but that's totally contradictory to them to being the Rolls-Royce of consoles. That's completely two different marketing strategies. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So have they switched gears so hard that it's like, you know what? We don't need a console. We're just going to be everywhere. We're going to be omnipresent. We're going to be the damn Matrix. No, we need all consoles. We need the biggest, strongest console ever that rubs your toes and takes you to Pizza Planet. We have to have the best console ever. It's like make up your mind,
And
Microsoft.
doesn't Alienware already own like the best console ever? Isn't that what they price their PCs
Yeah,
for and people
Alienware.
buy them? So
It's
is
the Rolls
Xbox saying
Royce.
so is Xbox saying that the new Xbox is going to be better than what these people have been doing for the last 2 decades
Apparent.
at
That's probably
a
why they
I don't
It,
believe you.
it's probably why they teamed up with Alienware, with Ally. Hey, if you can't beat them, join them. Hey guys, you want to make our consoles for us? And we just slap an Xbox sticker on it and call it a night. Yes, we're tapping out. There's no more R&D at Microsoft. They're kind of mentally checked out of the gaming sphere
Yeah.
because it was so poorly ran. And now we have freaking Master Chief on damn PlayStation 5. It's like saying McDonald's presents the Big Mac. You know what I'm saying? I mean, McDonald's presents the Whopper. You know what I'm
I'm
saying?
still waiting for that. Like one
McDonald's
day we all
one
know it's
day
going to happen. But
McDonald's
yes,
presents the Whopper. It's going to
yes,
happen because that's just the slow erosion of capitalism. You know what I mean? It's the slow erosion of corporate greed. Doug. It's
so
horrible.
sad, so
I'm
sad.
tired of talking about Xbox, man. We are moving on. Uh right. James Gunn rules out Darkseid. That's the big bad for his DC universe because Zack Snyder did it so cool. That's such a horrible quote. And Thanos, and he's way too close to Thanos and Marvel. I wanted to talk about this because James Gunn is starting to put his foot in his mouth a little bit, and I'm kind of afraid. You know what I'm saying? These are things you don't have to say. You don't have to tell people, well, you love Batman? He's not going to be in it. That's dumb. All right, moving on. It's like Darkseid is the big bad of DC. He just is. He is the Thanos. He is the ultimate destructor. You know what I'm saying? So all roads lead to Darkseid no matter what you do. But what I think he's trying to say is don't look for this guy anytime soon. You know what I mean? The gun is loaded. The gun is I think the gun is jammed on this one, bro. I think that he's just telling us don't look for this guy anytime soon. I know we're doing Salvation Run via the Man of Tomorrow, so don't I think he's just trying to quell expectations on rolling out his big bad, which is smart. You don't have your big bad in the first movie. That's what the 90s were for. You know what I'm saying? You hold Doctor Doom, right? You hold Thanos. You wait 10 years for Thanos, right? You make people want it. So I get it, but the way it's worded just makes him sound like, yeah, he's too close to Thanos. We're never going to do Darkseid. And that's just not what people want to hear, especially nerds like me. What are your thoughts?
My thoughts are, hey, I'm with you. Like, dude, why? Why? Because
Why
people
even?
keep asking you questions. Just
No.
stop
Yes.
answering them. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
stop answering them. Shrug your shoulders. I don't know. Working
We'll
on it.
see.
Like,
We're
move
working
on.
on it.
We'll see. Like, we'll see. And keep it moving. The second thing I'm gonna say is I think the reason this is, I still go back to Warner Brothers nonsense that they're going through, has put James Gunn on the defensive about all of his work and plans. And so he has to get out in front of the freight train that's called a Netflix or a Paramount or an Apple TV, and whoever they have in their bag to go, I have a plan, guys. Don't fire me when you
Yeah.
take over, man. Like I have a plan. Now, unfortunately, he can't come out and say that. And so it's coming out in these broken clips and chunks and these little tidbit bites like, I don't know if I'm going to be the head of DC.
I don't know,
The
man.
new
We'll see,
Batman's
dog.
coming. Like, if you don't know you're going to be the new head of DC, should you be promising a new Batman that we don't know if we're going to get since it hasn't shot and it may be some,
You know,
you know what I mean? And so I feel bad for the guy because I'm sure he doesn't want to be saying as much as he is, but I think in order to protect what he's done, the work thus far, the vision, all the hours of just sitting in a room talking with people about
in
ideas,
writing. Yeah,
you you gotta try to protect it somehow, and so he's trying
I get
without
it.
giving the
And
entire bag away.
yeah, without giving not throwing out the baby with the bathwater. Bradley, you're talking about Snyderverse leaks. That's news to me. Educate me on what's going on with that, because from my understanding, Snyderverse is dead as disco. Um, I get your point. Like, he's trying to almost do damage control for a situation that's out of his control. Um, it's bad when your parent company is screaming "Buy us, please" to the earth, and you're trying to build something important, something you care about. So it does feel like he's tap dancing as fast as he can, you know. But sometimes it's less is more. You know what I mean? So he's, like you said, he's jumping out um, um, he's jumping out in front of this bullet that he may have to just eat, and we don't know the future, right? Because Warner Brothers may be sold to something completely different, because they may piecemeal the business, right? Warner Brothers, Mortal Kombat, Harry Potter, these are all things that are under the Warner Brothers umbrella, kind of like what Marvel did with 20th Century Fox, right? It's like these things can be piecemealed. So it's a scary time to be a DC fan, because you don't know what's happening a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 years from now.
And no, and when you look, I just did a quick search because I was curious what other properties are under, and you have Harry Potter show coming out,
Yep.
television show.
Hmm.
We haven't
That's
heard
just coming
anything
out.
about that. That seems to be moving along. We have heard that they wanted to dig, and this isn't a Warner Brothers, news section, but we have heard that they want to take advantage of Harry Potter more. You have new
Hmm.
Lord of the Rings coming out, or not
Yeah,
new Lord,
that's a
yeah, new Gollum coming out.
that's a
With
big one.
That's a
Yeah.
big one. They wanted to take advantage of that more. You know what they don't seem to want to take advantage of is DC. You want to know why? Because previous to James Gunn, they took DC and they crumpled it up and they threw it over there and they're like, whatever. And now they hired James Gunn for I don't know how much money. I'm assuming a lot.
All the money. I'm guessing all the money, right?
Because who takes the job? You know what I mean? You
Yeah.
got to give me a bunch of money to do this. And now, while he's in the middle of what could be considered his first phase, they're like, yeah, we're just trying to fire sale this thing. Who sale? Who wants it? Who wants it? And
Castles
he's sitting
made of
here going,
sand.
yo,
What,
bro.
what
So,
do you want me to do? you know, I
is
like
DC worth more than Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings? This is a question I ask
maybe.
you.
I
Question
don't.
mark?
It's
I don't
it's
know.
hard. Harry Potter's crazy, man.
Harry
I don't see
Potter's
no
nuts.
DC. I don't see a DC world at Universal Studios selling butterbeer, bro. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? Like I and DC's been around since before either of us were born, right? But what's bigger, you ask? What's more important to the brand? DC may be sold to Netflix, bro. They just call it a night. It's so unsettling that what other big corporation could hold DC in a place where they feel comfortable and that they can grow outside of like Disney, because then that would be a monopoly. So it's like, where do you go if you're a
Apple,
DC?
Amazon, that's all you got, man. You
Amazon
get
and Apple, right? It's like
one of those two.
pick your damn poison, bro. You know what I'm saying? So it's a scary time, right? They that the entire Warner Brothers Discovery merger was the beginning of the damn end, because Discovery really wanted nothing to do with Warner Brothers, and it showed. The ownership showed it. They've been piecemealing this thing since Batgirl. We just talked about it. The
David
Batgirl movie.
Zaslow,
David
whatever the hell his name is, the dude's a
Zaslav or whatever. That
jackass.
guy is a freaking monster, man. He wanted nothing to do with any of this, and it showed. They rushed Mortal Kombat 1 out the door, bro. That thing got one run of DLC and was done. Money, right? Batgirl never saw the light of day. Coyote versus Acme, right? These are all properties that could have made money, but they're like, no, we're already got one foot out the door. You know what I'm saying? It's like leaving your prom date at Wendy's. Hey man, we're headed to prom. Can you run in here and get us some food real quick? And he just drives off. And now Susan is standing on front of a Wendy's in a dress, bro. Where are you going?
With Wendy's, you know what I mean? I got the
With
burgers,
Wendy's,
man.
I spent the money. I got the 2 number 5s. Yo
Yeah.
ass drove off and went to the prom without me. So I feel, like you said, I feel for James Gunn. I don't want to linger to this too long, but it sucks. He's in a very precarious position, and I hope that they land on their feet. I
See
want
what
DC to be
happens.
good. I love DC Comics. I want it to be great, but real quick, I know we're getting a little long in the Tizuth. I did want to talk about this Project Tall trailer. Project Tall combines an emotional resonant story about healing a wounded world in an exhilarating combat of classic action RPG. Very interesting. These are those games that I don't think are real, right? I don't think this is real. You know what I'm saying? Like remember Wukong? In the first time you saw Wukong, that mess looked like uh like Jesus Christ coming down from heaven. You know what I'm saying? But when you finally get the game, the world is caught up with that, and now it doesn't look so good. You know what I'm saying? This kind of gives me that vibe where the trailer is so polished and beautiful and it's running at 90,000 frames per second. And it's like, this isn't real, man. It can't be real, right? Did you watch this trailer, Wash?
I did watch this trailer, and it is a gorgeous trailer. And much like you, I was like, all right, this is cool. It's a game. I do have one point that I want to bring up about just gaming in general. But when he jumped on the back and he's stabbing dude in the back, I was like, oh, well, that's new, right in the middle of my criticism. Like I was like, oh shit, that's really new and that looks really good. So this looks interesting. But can you promise me that the whole game is like this? Because
That's
I don't know. And in reference to your point, I mean, Rockstar's the only one who like they put out a promise too. So you know what I mean? Maybe this is just where we are in the evolution. And all of us stupid gamers, we don't all you
we're just gonna buy
consumers,
it,
you
Brett.
you don't know any better. Wait till you get the Rolls-Royce of gaming
The
machines, and
Rolls
then
Royce
you
gaming
really know.
machine.
So stupid me and my stupid pennies, right? So
Yeah,
Rockstar puts out GTA 6. It needs to look what I saw. I'm gonna have questions. When this comes out, I have less than 0% faith that this will play how it looks like it plays. The only point
it's
I'll make about gaming in general, and this speaks to games you play, I'm kind of done with the third view like Battlefield thing that's going on. I'm just kind
mhm,
of over it. So that's all I was
feel it.
gonna say there.
Absolutely. And you make a good point to where are you going to replicate that for a 60-hour experience, right? How do you replicate that for a 30-hour experience? And there's very few games that can pull that off. Major game franchise, which has always been excellent about pulling that off is the God of War series.
Mm.
God of War from 1 till 2016 till Ragnarok. They give you these set pieces that are scripted, they're not organic, and that's the trade-off, right? It's impossible to have moments like that unscripted in a Fallout universe, in a Fallout gameplay cycle. It needs to be you need to be pointed in that direction, experience that set piece, and be wowed, right? So, but this game doesn't look like that. It looks more like a Demon Souls or a Dark Souls or a Bloodborne type game. A Souls like is what they would say. So those moments don't feel real because in those types of games, those moments really don't happen. It's very formulaic. You chop, chop, chop at the monster, and they may flinch a little bit, but there's never like I'm jumping off the freaking mountain from the top rope, about to just slam dunk this sword into this thing's brain, and it's gonna scream, and the earth is gonna cry out. It's like no, it just doesn't work that. It's the technology isn't there.
Mhm.
So while I want to hope that when this game finally hits shelves and has a better name than Project Tall, that it kind of lives up to the hype that a Wukong did, or in back of the day, even Killzone 3 did, where it just overpromised and underdelivered. Bioshock Infinite, I will hate you forever because your trailer never matched up to the gameplay. You bastards, you lied to all of us. So like you said, that's the industry now. You stupid gamers are just gonna buy it, bro. Nah, man. We're kind of we're more educated than that, and we're starting to see the grift. You know what I'm saying?
What percentage do you think that GTA 6 plays like it looks?
I have I have full damn faith that game is gonna be everything that they say it's gonna be.
You fucking know it is. You
And
fucking know
it
it is.
sucks to say, man. Know why? Because they have infinite money, bro. And it has infinite time. They've been working on this damn game for like 20 years, bro. And it's like I have full unrequited faith that this thing is going to be freaking balls, bro. It's gonna be out of control. You know what I'm saying? It's because they have all the money and all the time in the world to make what they want to make. And that is why Rockstar is so infallible, because they don't have to worry about someone looking over their damn shoulder, bro. Like, just do it. They know what they're doing at this point. Yeah, that 100% on my PC. Yeah, I hope you have like a 7090, bro, or whatever the crazy bleeding edge technology to run that damn thing. Need freaking a NASA computer to run damn GTA 6. I don't. It's just gonna cause my PS5 to smoke because it's not gonna be able to handle the freaking the exobytes it takes to run that shit, bro. Like, it's gonna be the balls. It's gonna be insane, bro. And it's like, I hate to say it because I want that to be games I actually like, and it sucks. I was just talking to my cousin about this. I'm getting GTA 6. I'm a red-blooded American. Like, I'm a human being. It's mandatory if you're a gamer. You're going to pick up GTA 6 just to see what it's, and you're going to have a good time. It's mandatory. You're going to pick up the game. You're going to figure it out. You're going to spend 100 bones. You're going to download the 500 gig game, half a freaking terabyte. You're going to download the terabyte game, and you're going to rock out. Thrill House. I just entered my name, bro. This game rules. So yeah, makes me mad how right you are, bro. Like, it is what it is, man. Is water wet? Is the sky blue?
I just don't have as much. I can't say the same about Project Tall.
No,
That's
man.
all I'm saying.
No. Project Tall, maybe not. Project Tall, maybe not. Just real quick. Netflix is rumored developing a new series. What Watch was most hyped to talk about, so let's talk about it. Based on the Phantom, apparently this was going to be a animated or live action, but they're leaning towards more live action. Just curious, what makes you the most hype about the Phantom? Is this something that used to be like, or I don't?
I
You never
used
talk
to
about it.
read the Phantom in the comics, like in the comic strips in the newspaper. I was a big comic strip reader in the newspaper. Dagwood, one of my favorites. Calvin and Hobbes,
Boy.
obviously. A couple of the Office workers, Office ones are a big fan, but I'm not thinking of them currently. So when I saw the Phantom, it like my brain went, I'm familiar with this, and I had to go back and I looked at some comic strips and I'm like, oh my freaking God, this dude. I remember this dude. And no, he didn't have superpowers, but he was badass. And
Yes.
I remember his suit. I did not realize he was the first person to wear a skin tight suit like that, which
Mm-hmm. The
you want to
original.
talk about a trivia question. Superheroes today,
Origin.
2025, based off 1963's Phantom. Who saw that coming when they wrote the Phantom? So I am there. I did not know in the article they said that not Netflix, but there was a TV series in 2019 that they made. I don't know anything about this. It
It
had to have
didn't
not been
work.
good.
Yeah.
Did
I
you?
don't
What
know
you?
much about it.
Okay.
I don't know much about it at all.
So I will probably like YouTube that this weekend just to see
Yeah.
what it was because I hadn't even heard about it. So yeah, if this comes on, man, I'll watch it. It's very I'm sure they'll update the Phantom a bit and not keep him quite as I don't want to say clean cut GI Joe-ish, but essentially he was like Marksman GI Joe with a skin tight suit. So
Yeah, man.
yeah,
And a dog named Devil, bro. He had a
dog
dog.
name.
He had a wolf, trained wolf named Devil. Like, yeah. I have a lot to say about this, but I'm not going to go too long in the tooth. Grew up on Phantom. There was a little cartoon back in the 80s called Defenders of the Earth. For those who know about it, one of the sickest, most outlandish intro songs of all time. If you want to have a good time, listen to the intro song from Defenders of the Earth. Lord of the Jungle, the hero who stalks. The beast called him brother, the ghost who walks. Phantom, Defenders of the Earth. It's real, dog. It's real. Um, so growing up, I didn't read the comics much, but I was big on toys, right? So I watched Defenders of the Earth, which had the Phantom, it had Flash Gordon, it had Lothar, bro, it had you know, Mandrake the Magician, bro, and so you collected the toys and you would draw the Phantom and all that cool stuff. And then the Billy Zane Phantom movie came out in the 90s. And that was it. Made me a Phantom fan. I love that movie. I unironically love that movie. That in the shadow with like Alec Baldwin or some GOAT superhero movies that people don't talk about because they didn't
Mhm.
turn into anything. And one thing I love about the Phantom, and going back to this potential TV series, is that the Phantom, much like Zorro, the Mask of Zorro, is a mental character. So the Phantom can exist at any point in time, and there could be a Phantom, right? You can have a Phantom back in the 1930s. One of the cartoons that came out was Phantom 2030, where it was a Phantom in the Turbo future, like Batman Beyond. It was Batman Beyond, but it was the Phantom in the future. So you can do a modern day Phantom, and it makes sense. It'll fit right in. I'm not
Like
saying they would do that, but Phantom is just one of those characters where it's a lineage, it's a bloodline. There's always going to be a Phantom, right? So very hype about this because is they're going to open up the doors for, let's say, the Shadow is going to open up doors for, let's say, the Rocketeer. It's going to open up doors for all these pulp heroes that really don't have a place in this world nowadays. Let's go. LFG. This is a big LFG.
we
What?
can leave the Rocketeer out.
You know what? You shut your damn mouth about the Rocketeer. You shut your mouth. You leave Rocketeer alone. We've already had that discussion, bro. uh, the last thing about last topic of the night. This is a touchy one, but I just feel like it needs to be talked about. Is that Twitch CEO Dan Clancy responds to the Imaru uh, TwitchCon assault, says it's a challenge in today's society, not limited to Twitch. The reason I brought this up is because I don't like that sentiment. You know what I mean? Like, well, this is a tale as old as time. What are we supposed to do? It's like, these kind of things happen. And pretty much what happened was is that a famous streamer named Imaru, was literally someone just ran up on stage and assaulted them, tried to get a kiss, or just dirtbag stuff happened on the watch of this convention. And what the CEO is saying here is just like, yeah, it's rough, cold game. We'll try harder in the future. Like, just very dismissive. So I wanted to ask you, Wash, as I'm sure you've been to conventions before, you've been to public places, things like that. Is it the responsibility of let's say a venue to protect its dissidents, to protect its goers, or is it something that is managed by each person? I mean,
Just
where does the
speaking
responsibility
straight.
lie? Something like
Dave,
that.
look, I am not the end all be all, but I believe that the individual has to be responsible for themselves in whatever situation that the individual is putting themselves in. Meaning,
Mm,
you need to be aware of your surroundings at all times and of bad things that could happen. I know I am. And yes, there is responsibility being in a public place on the venue, the organization to make sure they provide a safe, secure environment for everyone. But the blindness of all of this is Twitch has made celebrities from their
people.
platform,
Hmm.
and they've made a lot of money off the celebrities from their platform, and they're kind of looking at these celebrities going, yeah, we don't have your back. it'd be very
That's my
much
problem.
it'd be very much like a football team going to play football at, whatever stadium, and something happening in the stadium being like, yeah, that's the
That's not on
sorry.
us.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just play here, bro. So, um that's very tone deaf, and I'm sure that this CEO has had to have plenty of meetings since that about said comments. But frankly speaking, I wouldn't want to go to no TwitchCon if I was a super popular streamer and they didn't give a rip about their security, because gamers can be harsh.
Gamers are
Swatting
people
came from
from
gamers.
damn
Like,
gamers.
gamers invented the fucking thing. You know what I mean? And it's like there's some look, go put on your Xbox headset, folks. I'm not judging. Turn on
5 minutes in.
Fortnite. If
5 minutes in, baby. You'll see
you're
what
gonna be
gamers are talking
like,
about.
what?
Jeez
And I'm a
Louise.
gamer, right?
Yeah.
Yes. I am not all of us. I am one sole person who has to be responsible for himself. So, very unfortunate situation, and Twitch should have handled it much better.
I think it's such a weird thing to talk about, but it's something that happens, right? We've all seen it a million times. Michael Jackson is on stage, so you can have all the security in the world, but someone just rushed the stage.
Yep.
Michael, grab him, and there's nothing you can do about it, you know. But the person that reacts differently. Some people will hug him back. Okay, cool, get out of here. They're not to make it an awkward situation. Some people just stole on him, like, hey, back up. What are you doing? And each is, and it's how they deal with it. And I think there is some merit to the person being just aware of your surroundings and not feeling bulletproof because who truly is, right? And if you've ever been to a con, it is shoulder to shoulder people, man. It's a very compromised experience, no matter how much people you have around you. And to be, you know, a streamer that is, wanted by people, a popular streamer, it's got to be a little scary being like, man, anybody can get to me at any time, and it's kind of nutty. But I think there's earnest both ways. But it's up to me, the earnest is more on the venue to protect your talent. This isn't some person walking in off the freeway, off the subway. This is one of your one of your personnel. This is a specialized, you know, venue attraction that you need to protect. Like there
Yeah,
needs to
dude.
be, some kind of check and balance for how these people get around. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to ask, Kai Sanat to walk around Twitch with no kind of security or no kind of, what I'm saying, protection, and is it on him to provide his own protection, which I'm sure he has his own security detail, but the venue should provide some kind of security and some kind of like check and balance because like you said, gamers are weird, man. People are weird, but
People are
gamers,
weird.
and you can't put anything past anybody, man. So this is a horrible situation, and I think that a lot of times these CEOs are so disconnected from these situations that they'll just say things off the top of their head and not really be the Rolls-Royce of gaming, for Christ's sake, right? You're just so disconnected from the situation. You just say things, right? It's the
What did we
worst.
say last week? Yeah.
God, I said that. I didn't say that. You're
Old man
crazy.
for scruffle and like keep
Oh man,
shuffling
brain, man.
like
These grays are starting to get to me, man. I said that. Nah. It's right here. Oh no. That was yesterday. No, we don't worry about that. But it's like, yeah, if I was a person of interests or of fame, things like this are kind of a hard sell for me because it's like, what am I getting myself into?
I'm gonna bring this up. Maybe we can close it out on here. It's a little bit of a
Yes.
lighter note, but look, security did not come out and get Will Smith. Will Smith
You,
walked back
hey,
to
hey,
his seat.
wash sports,
Sports. I
sports. That's
said
all I'm
that
gonna
that
say
was
about
set up.
that.
Yeah, I said it was set up too. That's
Yeah.
me too. But whatever. Like whatever. The
Sports.
point is like even the people at the venue, when you have friends at the venue, aren't necessarily safe at the venue, and the venue
No.
did nothing. They literally went, "What just happened?"
What happened? Oh, that was crazy. That
Can
happened?
we show that again?
We saw we
Like,
slow mo it. Like they're such
you
uncaring
know?
bastards, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Craziness, sports, man. And that will do it for episode 140 of the Masters of the Nerdiverse podcast. Out of these four topics, having talked about them and kind of gone over everything, which topic actually caught your were you most interested were you most happy about talking about? Which one
I'm still
kind of
going
hit?
to go back to Phantom, man. I'm still going to be checking out some Phantom this weekend, if at all possible, and maybe even checking out that show. Forgot all about that show. So you know what I mean? In 40 minutes, you know what I mean? Catch 2 episodes, just put on the
Yeah.
member berry. So yeah,
You probably find it on YouTube somewhere, bro, for
yeah.
free. Just throw it on. Yeah, I'm right there with you. Phantom freaking I'm very excited about that. I loved our conversation about Ben Solo and just kind of the state of Star Wars. That was a good conversation. That may be a clip in the future. Very good episode. With that, any last thoughts about before we close this bad boy out?
No, coming up this week, we got Outer Worlds 2 coming out. So stoked to be
Oh
talking about
god.
that. I'm going to be getting in
Yeah.
there. I just finished Outer Worlds 1 probably about 8 weeks ago now, so it's still fairly fresh for me. And I have, besides Dairy coming out, I don't have a lot of TV shows, but man, I have a plethora of movies that I have just backlogged on. I got
Mm.
Superman, I got the Michael B. Jordan zombie movie. There's a couple other freaking things that have dropped. Weapons dropped today on HBO.
Yes.
So
I'm gonna
I
watch
am
that this
just
weekend.
buried
Mhm.
in like movies that I got to catch up on. So that about covers it here over here at the archive. I almost said Nerdiverse,
Abs-
but that's your place.
Absolutely. No, this is our place, bro. This is our place, bro. Yes. Outer Worlds 2. I gotta be Yoka. I gotta eat. You have to eat your you can't have any pudding till you eat your meat, right? I gotta
Hmm.
finish Ghost of Yote before I can play Outer Worlds 2, which is right up there with games I want to play. I'm spending way too much money on video games this year, bro. So that
Oh,
definitely gonna watch
wait till
Weapons this
next
weekend.
year when you see the Rolls-Royce come out. What
With
that's
the
gonna
Rolls Royce,
drop you like
when they
that's
pull
gonna
out the
drop you like
Phantom, bro.
4 Kenobis,
Hey,
bro.
bro, no, no, we can't have that. That's gonna be like 3 Vaders. I can't have that. Nuh-uh, you're not dipping into my
I'm trading you 3 Vaders and 4 Kenobis for the
Hey,
Rolls-Royce gaming
I'll
system.
trade you the Darth Revan in the Jack Sparrow for the Rolls Royce of gaming. You understand?
Yeah,
Y-
yeah.
We need the money. I want to thank Bradley, of course, for always coming through and keeping the fires hot. I want to thank Washala, Washasha, if I'm saying that correctly. That's a new name, but I think I know who it is. So thank you for coming through. Want to thank Two Shot Reviews for coming through, Mike Prime for coming through. I know it's late out there for you guys. This was a great episode. As always, I would like to remind everyone spread the word. People are going to ask, hey, what do you watch on Friday nights? We watch Masters of the Nerdiverse. Spread the word, grow the channel. We've had our second 1,000 views short this week. Wash carried that, talking about the duality of Darth Vader. Big, big, big for us. That is insane. That kind of went crazy. Keep that up. Bradley mentions the DC and WB stuff is a very good part of our conversation. Comment on our episodes. This is how the algorithm picks us up. Say anything. It doesn't matter. Just say something on the channel. We'd love to hear from you. And subscribe so that you are made aware when new content comes live on the channel. We're working on something Swamp Thing related. I know you guys are hype. I promise you, figured it out. It's coming back bigger than ever. I have some proof a little bit over there that you kind of can see, but you kind of can't see of what that's coming up for that. And as always, we're going to call it there. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G. He's been Wash. We've been the Masters of the Nerdiverse. MOTN out. Take care, fam.